Good morning. I am Bob Curry, Chairman of the KGI Board of Trustees. Welcome to the 13th Annual Commencement. Out of respect for this momentous occasion, please take the time to silence your cell phones. I would now like to introduce Reverend Brad Tharp from the Office of the Chaplains, who will deliver the invocation.
Good morning. Let us now pause to honor the sanctity of this moment and to consider that which is within and beyond ourselves. On this day of celebration, let us remember together. We remember gathering with nervous excitement for orientation. We remember sleepless nights and long study sessions. We remember group projects that were sometimes fun and sometimes contentious. We remember TMPs completed, tests taken, papers written, projects finished, struggles overcome, and victories celebrated. We don't remember every fact learned, but we do remember how we have been formed by the KGI education and by the KGI community. And for this formation, we offer our gratitude. We are grateful for the mixture of hard work, talent, and perseverance that has brought us to this moment. We are grateful for faculty and administrators who shared knowledge and methodology, but also exemplified how to be in the world. We are grateful for this community, for people who pushed us when we needed it, and for people who encouraged us when we needed it most. We are grateful for all of the individual paths here, for the families and friends who have offered support and guidance. For we affirm that none of us made it here alone. None of us made it through here alone. And none of us can make it out there alone. And as we remember with gratitude today, let us look forward with confidence and humility. As we go to stand at the nexus of science and business, as we create new devices or treatments, manage decision-making processes, as we treat the sick or manage the difficult, whether we are in labs or boardrooms, may we remember that our ultimate goal is not our own gain. May we utilize all that we have been given to build a better world, a more just society, and to give of ourselves in service to others. May we remember and be grateful for what is sacred, and may we honor that in all people. I offer all of this in humility and in peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Tharp. For the friends, family, guests, we have a tradition here at KGI at graduation where the graduates pay tribute and thanks to all of those who helped them along the road through the KGI experience. So at this time, I would like all the graduates to rise, face towards their friends and family, and applaud them. I would now like to ask President Shelley Schuster to come to the podium.
Thank you, Bob. It's my great pleasure and honor to welcome today's graduates of Keck Graduate Institute, the class of 2014. Officially. This is KGI's 13th graduating class, the new alumni who are initiating KGI's 17th anniversary year. I also extend a special welcome to family, friends, and guests who come together today to celebrate this wonderful commencement. We are honored to be joined by members of KGI's Board of Trustees, Advisory Council, faculty, alumni, and staff. On behalf of the entire KGI community, I welcome all of you to KGI's campus. Welcome again. I am pleased now to introduce Rona Mukherjee, a candidate for the Post-Baccalaureate Pre-Medical Certificate and our Class 2014 speaker. Ronita graduated from Emory University in Atlanta in 2013. She received a Bachelor of Science degree majoring in neuroscience and behavioral biology, alongside a minor in Italian studies. This summer, she will be conducting research in Dr. Vivek Gupta's lab, working on siRNA delivery using nanoparticles, as well as working part-time as an emergency medical scribe in San Antonio Hospital. In the fall, Ronita will enter her second year here at KGI to complete her Master of Science degree and then hopes to continue on to medical school. It's my pleasure to welcome Ronita.
Thank you. First off, before I begin, I just want to say a few thank yous. I want to thank my mom and dad for always supporting me and helping me to get to this point. I want to thank my sister, Ria, for coming all the way down here to hear me speak. I also want to thank June and the PPCs for really making me feel like this was a home for me. And I want to give a especially special shout out to my roommates, Diane and Nancy, for making me feel like this is where I wanted to be the whole year. And finally, I just want to give thank you to all the faculty and staff for really helping me get to this point and making sure that this speech was worthy of you guys. Okay, so first of all, I want to say congratulations to the Keck Graduate Institute of Sciences class of 2014. I'm not only humbled, but honored to be able to speak up here today and represent such a wonderful and talented group of individuals. I hope that I can do some justice to the memories we've all shared here, as well as give you a few words to take with you that will cement your experiences and give you the foresight to seize the great opportunities that we are all on the brink of facing in our so very tangible futures. Today, I'm going to speak of two things: perspective and growth. Let me begin by saying that I always grew up expecting to follow a very traditional path. For a pre-medical student like me, that means going straight to medical school out of undergrad, and for many of you, that probably meant entering straight into a job. Until last year, I wasn't even really aware that was ever an alternative path or a school like KGI that offered me so much more than the typical master's degree. A school that I would come to learn is so innovative and multidisciplinary that it opened my ideas to a completely new way of thinking about healthcare and an environment where the students vibrate with business acumen. When I first applied to KGI, I had some doubts. I worried that KGI was only a small fish in a big pond. Would it give me the resources, the training, the mindset I needed to take the next step? Well, fellow classmates and future colleagues, after taking classes here and experiencing life from multiple vantage points, I think I can safely say the most important learning I did here at KGI was about perspective. Something I think the traditional path never offered us. From learning about the gaps in global healthcare with Dr. Casper, to learning about how to create a device to address that need in Dr. Neem's class, I learned how to think not only like an executive, but also about a member of the global community. KGI gave me something that I think no other school could: the ability to come up with creative solutions to healthcare problems while surrounded by the compassion and drive of people discovering the exact same thing. As I'm sure all of you experienced in one situation or another, this school is teeming with hidden talent. One of the best examples in my experience here at KGI that really exemplified this diversified environment occurred in my medical devices team. As team leader, I really had a chance to get to know some of the members of my group, and while it was obvious that all of us were quite sharp, I discovered exactly the degrees of varied skill my team possessed. I discovered the resourcefulness of my teammate Carlos, whose borderline perfectionist tendencies made him irreplaceable to the team. Multiple nights he stayed up with me, scouring articles and working hard alongside me from the first to last minute. My teammate Neelam, who I found out was an extremely talented artist with great attention to detail that really added something special to the team. I found a teammate, Wendy, who was so thorough and forward with her work that I never had to ask her to do anything. She was always prepared. And finally, one of the most compelling students I've met here at KGI. I've had the pleasure of working alongside Jay, who I found out was probably one of the most articulate and well-spoken students here at KGI. I was constantly learning from him, and I can honestly say I'm better for it. These students really embody the wide range of students here at KGI, and I'm sure all of you have found people here that represent these qualities. In the real world, I think discovering these talents is really a challenge, but KGI is an amazing arena because I've personally seen how the curriculum and environment really bring out the best in all of us and push us to really look for unique qualities in everyone. All of us here know that each of these classes has gone a long way to taking us from where we were when we entered KGI to now. But they've done a lot more than just provide us textbook knowledge. They've given us depth and the ability to perceive unmet needs, both professionally and personally, tools I hope we will all utilize for the rest of our lives. Next, I want to speak about growth. I think as individuals, we tend to focus very acutely into our own experiences. Steadfastly and almost stubbornly, we forget that we ourselves remain lost without context. And what's worse is that some out there even are naive enough to believe that they're not missing out at anything at all. The vast and diverse community here at KGI has shown me that first impressions are wrong most of the time. In fact, my experiences have also led me to believe that even second impressions are wrong most of the time. My personal journey at KGI really had a lot to do with my community and my desire to really test my boundaries. As a student who really has a traditional set of learning in my back pocket, I think classes at KGI were not too difficult for me to follow. But after spending weeks silently studying alone in Rose Hill, I realized that not everyone has the same kind of book learning under their belt. I started setting up group studies with people like Oscar, Amrita, Yash, Sheely, and many others, where nights before a test, many of us would gather and help each other. These late-night sessions really taught me how to articulate any topic clearly, how to assess and evaluate any situation critically, and even how cultural backgrounds play a role in the subjects we were studying. They inspired me to try and learn new things without the fear of failure or judgment. The KGI community taught me a cultural literacy that is universal, a talent that I can utilize in any situation. I learned how to engage with everyone regardless of lingual barriers. I learned the flexible definition of knowledge as each and every day I was wowed by something a student revealed to me. I learned how to take constructive criticism and actually utilize the advice I was given. My friends here taught me so much, not only about the world around me, but also about myself. Here, I found people I would call my sisters, and hopefully my future colleagues. Extremely competent people who shared my KGI blood, sweat, and tears, and will always be near to my heart. For me, my growth is really strongly tied to my desire to leave the fear of failure behind. And I think such a tight-knit community is one of the best things KGI provides because it gives students the opportunity to try new things, to be innovative, and to grow with the safety net behind them. At this point, I want to tell you a short proverb that had a pretty profound impact on me. So there are these two fish swimming along, and they happen to be an older fish swimming the other way, who nods at them and says, "Morning, boys, how's the water?" And the two young fish swim on for a bit, and eventually one of them looks over at the other and goes, "What the hell is water?" What I want all of you to take away from this is always take in your surroundings, utilize your experiences, ask questions. Don't be afraid to challenge others, and don't worry about changing the status quo. Choose perspective, choose growth, and fall in love with the process of bettering yourself each day. By stepping away from the mold, we have been exposed, and that gives us the cutting edge. We at KGI have an advantage because we have moved past the traditional and we can think outside the box. KGI may be a small fish in a big pond, but some of those other sharks better watch out because we know something that they don't know. Above the big blue ceiling lies the sun and land and other bigger, badder ponds to conquer. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronita. We need the fish to ask us about sweat and warmth or something, Ronita, but I was thinking of how to work that in, except I'm just dripping. It's now my pleasure to introduce the president of the class of 2014, Naren Vinayak. Naren graduated from Anna University in Chennai, India in 2009. He received a Bachelor of Technology in Industrial Biotechnology and came to KGI to study the business of bioscience. Last summer, he interned at Roche Pharmaceuticals and specialized in global project management. As a Team Masters project member, he developed a comprehensive orphan drug database for Pfizer. It is my pleasure to welcome Naren and say on a personal note that I will miss thoroughly his thoughtfulness, sincerity, and hard work. Naren.
Thank you, guys. President Schuster, we have finally managed the 100% attendance.
We've been arguing about this. It's okay.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to stand before you all today, and welcome to the 13th commencement ceremony. I would like to thank the family and friends of students for joining us today. The constant support and confidence you gave us allowed us to complete this amazing program in style. And about 10 years back, I had the option to take biotechnology as an elective in high school. The only reason why I took it was because it had the smallest textbook. But since then, my career has taken some interesting changes. Change is inevitable, yet we most often prefer status quo. We have seen many technologies, companies, and even countries stagnating for not keeping pace with change. However, I'm proud to say our school, our ambitious and entrepreneurial school, has managed to incorporate change into its culture. The last 2 years has been intense, fun, and rewarding educational experience. This was due to two groups, one to the left and one to the right. We are extremely grateful to our faculty for their guidance and mentorship. We enjoyed your team-based projects. In the first year, it allowed us to meet a lot of students and quickly make friends and learn different cultures. I got a chance to work with at least 25 different teams through academics, clubs, and student government. And this is where the superstars to my right come in. My batchmates were truly outstanding as team members and showed some amazing leadership skills. I'm confident we will all be successful in our future endeavors. I can see the PPC students waiting to enter and revolutionize the medical field. The PPM students who would be future executives in life science company and who would bring in their in-depth scientific knowledge and their recently acquired management skills. To my friends in the master's program, do invite me over to parties in Mars, Europe, or any space colonies you own in the future. You guys are special. Your training and discipline will be an asset to any company, in any situation, or in any role. I would like to share a thought with you, my friends. This is something I learned from one of the consultants who came on campus. Think big, start small, and scale up fast. And I think I felt it captures the essence of our journey ahead, and I would like to wish you the best. I would like to move on to the class gift. A few months back, during the fellowship dinner, we, the students, promised to contribute towards building this great institution. The students have been donating generously from their precious pocket money towards an endowed alumni scholarship, which in future will fund a student. We are also working towards purchasing an umbrella which can provide shade for students who would like to enjoy this beautiful California weather. We would also like to gift a plaque that can be placed in the alumni patio. It will carry the inscription, "It's not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent. It's the one which is most adaptable to change." It's a quote by Charles Darwin, and I think the quote best describes us and this great institution. Finally, I would like to thank this great country for giving us an opportunity to work with the best minds. Thank you all once again, and congrats, class of 2014.
Thank you, Naren, and thanks to all of you in the class of 2014 for your generosity. We deeply appreciate it and look forward to working with you to build it in the future. Thank you again so much. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Steve Casper, Interim Dean of Faculty, to announce this year's Teaching Award. Steve.
Okay, where's the... I can do it by heart.
Once upon a time, no, it's not.
There it is. It's right there. It's right here. It's right
That's
here.
all,
Right?
yeah, you got, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Got the script. I can do it by heart. You all know that. But anyway, I'm really happy to be able to announce this award. We all know that teaching is a core aspect of KGI. Actually, the script is different from my script, too, so I'll just make up this part up. So I didn't need a script. I actually wrote this script, so I should be able to do it. But in 2000... It's adaptability, there you go. In 2013, our founding president, Henry E. Riggs, gave us a very generous gift to allow us to give a faculty award for teaching excellence every year for the next 5 years, and this is the second year of that. The award is focused very strongly on active learning, active teaching, which I think most of you know is one of the key central planks in our current strategic plan. So I'm going to present this year's gift. So this year we had a committee consisted of Craig Adams and the faculty and Noreen, the student body president, and they worked with the students to do a poll. And there is a very strong consensus on this year's winner, and it is Luann Bankson. So Luann, come on up here. Oh, there's the script. All right, Luann. All right, let me brag about Luann a little bit, then I'll give her the award. So Dr. Bankson, she teaches our core courses in accounting and corporate finance, as well as an advanced elective course in valuation. Her teaching exemplifies the active learning approach. She's been an early adopter of the so-called flipping the classroom strategy, which we've been doing a lot of at KGI. That is moving a lot of introductory lecture material into short YouTube-like concept videos that students they prepare before the class, and then the class can be more advanced, discussion-oriented. She's been a real big user of that. She also does really exciting class projects that the students really love, involving company evaluation and really understanding why. Yeah, there you go. Why it is so many of these life science companies don't do so well from the financial point of view and how they can do better. So this is a very, very strong consensus among the students this year that you really deserve this award, and I'd really like to, on behalf of the faculty, we're really thrilled to give this to you. So we have a really nice plaque. There you go. I can give it to you. There you go. All righty. Thanks, Joanne. All righty. All right. Thanks.
You know what that sound is, right? For those of you who were looking for the speaker who I was supposed to accompany up here, you'll notice Senator Kerry is not here. And it's sort of an unfortunate combination of very, very bad travel weather and him coming down with a pretty significant illness that really struck him pretty brutally yesterday morning, and we just found out about it. But again, in the spirit of what Naren was talking about and how adaptability is so important, we figured out another way to bring Senator Kerry to us. But there's really another opportunity, and I think it's a great lesson for all of us about taking these little pieces of adversity and turning them into some kind of advantage. And so, as you know, one of the things we want to do is we want to make everybody in the world aware of this fabulous program and the faculty and the students that we have. And so we need more publicity. And I was reading this morning in the LA Times about all these schools who sort of disinvited their commencement speakers and are getting all of this publicity for what I consider rather rash acts of lack of understanding of academic freedom. But nonetheless, they're getting all of this great publicity for, disinviting Secretary of State Rice and people like that. So what Senator Kerry and I have decided, that we want to rewrite a little history, if you will, but we need your cooperation in this. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell everybody that you, as the students and the faculty, were protesting because were Senator Kerry to be here, it would constitute too many old Nebraskans here on the podium. So Trustee Markin and myself and Senator Kerry are all Nebraskans, and that's far too many. That was offensive, especially to people from South Dakota and Kansas. And so we thought that was pretty intense. But so the story now will read that, in fact, you all protested, and you were just adamant about this, so go with me here. But because of my incredible negotiation skill, that's an important part of it, I was able to negotiate with you that we would compromise and he would only come in by video. Are we good with that, Senator? Okay. Let me give you a just brief introduction of Senator Kerry, who we are really fortunate to have online. And I should tell you, he can't hear us, so hold on. Oh. Ooh. That didn't sound good. Okay. Senator Kerry is a decorated Vietnam veteran, a member of the 9/11 Commission, and an education leader. Senator Kerry is a managing director at Allen & Company, a privately held boutique investment bank, and an executive chairman of the Minerva Institute for Research and Scholarship, supporting the Minerva Project. In 2013, KGI formed a partnership with the San Francisco-based Minerva Project to create the Minerva Schools at KGI, which will offer a unique undergraduate education to some of the world's brightest and most motivated students. On January 1st, 2011, Senator Kerry completed his tenure as 7th president of the New School in New York City, a university founded on strong democratic ideals and daring educational practices. He also served as the New School's president emeritus until 2013. Prior to his presidency of the New School, he represented Nebraska in the United States Senate, serving on the Senate's Agriculture and Forestry Committees, the Appropriations Committee, Finance Committee, and last but not least, on the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, where he worked to restructure our intelligence agencies to improve their capacity to meet the threats faced by our country. Prior to serving in the U.S. Senate, he served as governor of Nebraska. Senator Kerry served as a U.S. Navy SEAL during the Vietnam War, during which time he was wounded. Permanently disabled from his injury, he received what he considered a great gift: sympathy for those who are suffering and an appreciation for the capacity of government to save your life. He was awarded the Medal of Honor for heroism in combat. Before his time in the Navy, Senator Kerry attended the University of Nebraska, graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy. He was born in Lincoln and attended Lincoln Public Schools. In 2002, he published a memoir, When I Was a Young Man. Please join me in welcoming, via internet, the Honorable Bob Kerry.
Okay, I'm going to start. I hope I'm starting at the right time. Thank you very much, Shelley, and to the parents in the audience, the husbands, wives, family, faculty, staff, and most importantly to the graduates. Good morning and congratulations to all of you. You may have noticed that I'm not there this morning. You may have been told that I was supposed to be. So I tell you, I'm very sorry that I'm not. My body is fighting off a bit of an influenza virus, and politeness will cause me not to describe the symptoms, but I will tell you that they warned me off a 5-hour flight to California last night. I do hope that my absence doesn't disappoint you too much, and I will try not to disappoint you further by talking too long this morning, because I know it's hot out there, and I know that ceremonial necessity, not good sense, caused many of you to be wearing very heavy, black, and uncomfortable robes. There is one great benefit that accrues to all of you as a consequence of our being 3,000 miles apart. Because I cannot hear you, I have not added any clever, carefully constructed and cadenced applause lines. Thus, you cannot insult me by not applauding, and you cannot insult me by remaining silent for the duration of this address. You may therefore multitask to your heart's content. Giving advice to a graduating class is always a risky proposition. It's not likely that anything that I say here this morning will be long remembered. Still, it is important to me that I honor you by making my best effort to answer a simple question. What would I say today if I were sitting in my own audience? Most of you have chosen a life where your actions will be responsible for improving the health, prolonging the lives, in some cases, saving the lives of other human beings. Some of you have chosen to work every single day knowing that perfection is not possible and that some of your efforts will be in vain, painfully in vain. It's perhaps the noblest and most challenging of all human actions. I thank you for it, I applaud you for it, and I respect you for it. Because you've made this choice, someone needs to remind you to find a way to also be selfish without being a jerk. I mean that you need to take care of yourself in order to take care of others. You need to acquire the habits that will keep you as healthy as your genes and external accidents will allow. I believe it helps us to remain healthy when we celebrate and enjoy in a disciplined way the pleasure of beauty, the inspiring sight, sound, and smell of the ocean, the onrushing radiance of spring, the quiet of the deep woods, the sounds and mystery of all life, the profound majesty of artistic creativity, especially music, which can, if we allow it, enable us to see the wisdom of the advice that the late Governor Ann Richards gave all the time. Hell is being in heaven and not liking it. Consider the miracle of our individual existence. Yes, we are a nearly infinitesimal speck in an impossibly large and expanding universe. Yes, the span of geological time makes the span of our lives seem like the tiniest of layers on an ancient world. And yes, there are moments when we all say to ourselves that our lives are of little consequence. But that simply is not true. You do not have to believe in God, nor do you have to believe that we were put here on earth by the master of the universe to conclude that the fact of our existence at least is a mathematically very improbable situation. A lot of accidents had to happen in order for you and I to be alive today. But here we are, each of us unique, each of us bound together by this day of celebration. I also advise you to persist in the cause of exploring unanswered questions, especially those deeply exciting ones about the nature and story of life on our planet. Try to conquer the fear that all of us have when we choose to describe our conclusions to an audience of hostile skeptics. And always approach these questions with the humility needed for the discovery of great knowledge. Your best work will occur immediately after you discover that something you've believed for a long time is wrong. In the current documentary movie, Patriotic Particle Fever, which tells the story of the international search for the Higgs boson, the theoretical physicist says something that should be encouraging to all of us who do not really understand the difference between supersymmetry and a multiverse. In my life, he said, I have gone from failure to failure with undiminished enthusiasm. He exaggerates the frequency of his failures. And I, of course, do wish you success in life. But when you fail, which you will, my fondest hope is that you will find the way to move on, perhaps to another failure with undiminished enthusiasm. My last advice is this. Find a way to alter your consciousness in order to see the good in the stranger in your midst. Be kind and run the risk of asking the question that just might unlock a door of understanding in yourself. Among the exciting truths about the search for the Higgs boson is that strangers from all over the world joined the search. In the beginning, they did not know each other. In the beginning, they may have harbored a hostile view of each other simply because of their national origin, their religious differences, or even their academic alma maters. When the final data was calculated and the Higgs boson was discovered, there was no chant of We're Number One or USA. The applause and cheers came from men and women from nearly every nation and every religion on earth. Humanity celebrated, and it was good. My final piece of advice is to remember and follow the wise words and the guidance of the Israeli statesman Yitzhak Rabin. You don't make peace with friends. You make it with unsavory enemies. There are no unsavory enemies here today. There are only friends who are proud of what you have accomplished, who are inspired by your willingness to make our lives better, and who wish you happiness, success, and a rich, rewarding life. Thank you, and best wishes to you all.
Recording has stopped.
Oh, thank you, Bob. That will get to him, please. Thank you, and I know you all found those words very thoughtful and inspiring, so we all thank Senator Kerry for being such a sport and being willing to do this, even though he's still not feeling well, and being so inspirational. Let me call up Chairman Curry to do the work of the Board of Trustees.
Recently, the Executive Committee of the Board of Trustees received resolutions from the faculty to award certificates and degrees to members of the Keck Graduate Institute's 2014 graduating class. Trustees approved these resolutions, and I will call upon Jim Sterling, the Vice President of Academic Affairs, to present the candidates.
Will the candidates for the Bioscience Management Certificate in Applied Life Sciences please rise? Mr. Chairman, with great pleasure, I present the candidate who has successfully completed the requirements for the Bioscience Management Certificate in Applied Life Sciences.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty, with the Board of Trustees of Keck Graduate Institute concurring, I hereby award you the Bioscience Management Certificate in Applied Life Sciences, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto.
Kato Shum. There were a number of students receiving this degree in absentia. They are Manasa Chandra, Laura Jane Smith, Ben Yi Tu, Xiaoling Wang, and Chunye Weng. Let's congratulate the recipients. Will the candidate for the inaugural Certificate of Bioscience Industry Law and Practice please rise? Mr. Chairman, with great pleasure, I present the candidate who has successfully completed the requirements for their Certificate of Bioscience Law and Practice.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty, with the Board of Trustees of Keck Graduate Institute concurring, I hereby award you the Certificate of Bioscience Law and Practice, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto.
Christine S. Chen. Will the candidates for the post-baccalaureate pre-medical certificate in applied life sciences please rise? Mr. Chairman, with great pleasure, I present the candidates who have successfully completed the requirements for the post-baccalaureate pre-medical certificate in applied life sciences.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty, with the Board of Trustees of Keck Graduate Institute concurring, I hereby award you the post-baccalaureate pre-medical certificate in applied life sciences, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto.
Arnima Basin. Patricia Bonilla. Scott Lewis Breslow. Andrew Barney Burns. Alec Gabriel Contag. Sarah Catherine Cronin. Ashton Rose DeCrump. Sagar Desai. Joshua Benjamin Finley, in absentia. Nancy Garcia. Courtney Lorraine Hanlon. Linda Howen. Adam Alexander Kalawa. Harshal Anand Lal. Ho Lung, in absentia. Ronita Mukherjee. Daniel Hyunsung Park. Parth S. Patel. Joaquin Caniz Ponce Zepeda. Diane Rodden. Nakia Sarad. Cole O'Reilly Schaefer. Samin Shariaf, in absentia. Namgyal Furba Sherpa. Sergio J. Villegas, in absentia. Stephen Wertheimer. Emerald Yuan. Let's give a round of applause for all of the PPC awardees. Will the candidate for the Doctor of Philosophy degree please rise? Mr. Chairman, with great pleasure, I present the candidate who has successfully completed the requirements for the Doctor of Philosophy in Computational and Systems Biology.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty, with the Board of Trustees of Keck Graduate Institute concurring, I hereby confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto.
Nicholas Chamon.
Congratulations, very good.
Will the candidates for the degree of postdoctoral professional masters in bioscience management please rise? Mr. Chairman, with great pleasure, I present the students who have successfully completed the requirements for the degree of postdoctoral professional masters in bioscience management.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty, with the Board of Trustees of Keck Graduate Institute concurring, I hereby confer the degree of postdoctoral professional masters in bioscience management with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto.
Pamela Therese Bonner. Arundhati Ghosh. Jinghua James Gia. Nick Sanyal. Sharifa Shante Wills. There are a number of students who have received this degree in absentia. They are Xiaoqing Cao, David W. Chung, Jesus Andres Quaron, Lakshmi Dharmarjaran, Abasi Ene Obong, Kasalai Kalipan, Alejandre Klaue King, Akhilesh Kumar, Tina Matthew, Eder Rodriguez Hernandez, Ryan Shade, Kelly Lynn Thiel, and Rajesh Velagapudi. Let's give a round of applause to all of the graduates of the postdoctoral professional masters. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Science please rise? Mr. Chairman, with great pleasure, I present the candidates who have successfully completed the requirements for the degree of Master of Science.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty, with the Board of Trustees of Keck Graduate Institute concurring, I hereby confer on you the degree of Master of Science with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto.
Carlos Armando Damas. Thomas Liu. Robin H. Modi. Moises C. Terrazas. Manita Cham in absentia. Let's give a round of applause to all of the recipients of the Master of Science in Applied Life Sciences. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Bioscience please rise? Mr. Chairman, with great pleasure, I present the candidates who have successfully completed the requirements for the degree of Master of Bioscience.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty, with the Board of Trustees of Keck Graduate Institute concurring, I hereby confer on you the degree Master of Bioscience with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto.
Andrew Barajas. Allison Joy Blaschke. Melissa Jocelyn Campos. Casey Chang. Christine S. Chen. Michael R. Choi. Neha Dafria. Bridget Anais Duran. Maria Philippou. Irene Gozali. Timothy Duke Hahn. Jagan Harish Chandra Chaudhary. Her GC. Elizabeth Henderson. Elizabeth Hannah Huvard. Ashi Jain. Anamika Jha. Jacob H. Justice. Sheetal Pradeep Khanna. Ricardo Jung Sun Kim. Kevin G. Kim. Amy Lake. Nathan James Lyman. Krisha Manansala. Ellen Margolis. Shinobu Mihara. James Glenn Miller. Swati N. Manshaw. Nandaj Nair. Joanna Dorothy Neymark. Jeannie No. Horace Owino. Pancham Parikh. Frances Catherine Pillsbury. Michelle Plummer. Flaka Radonici. Melissa Camille Reynoso. Roberto Rodriguez. Jason Ross. John Pierre Ruiz. Tiffany Marie Sandoval. Varant Norer Shirvanian. Vishnu Vikash Sridhar. Rohan Sukumar. Jane Sir. Naren Vinayak. Leor Zilbermans. Let's congratulate the class, the MBS class of 2014.
Congratulations to all of you. I am pleased to introduce, next time yell KGI, and I won't make the thing crackle. Anyway, I'm pleased to introduce our alumnus speaker, Louis Schemmel. Louis is a MBS graduate from 2009, and this is the 5th year that we've had an alum welcome our graduates into the alumni family. Louis is a San Diego native that graduated from UC San Diego with a biochemistry and cell biology degree in 2003. He worked at the Salk Institute, the Scripps Research Institute, and in GenProbe's product development department before attending KGI from 2007 to 2009. While at KGI, he focused on the business of bioscience, interning at Amylin Pharmaceuticals in business development, and participating in the first TMP sponsored by Veracyte Incorporated. His postgraduate endeavors include working with a green energy startup, interning with the Biocom Institute, and has spent the last 4 years on the mergers and acquisition team at Life Technologies, now Thermo Fisher Scientific. It's my pleasure to welcome Louis Schemmel.
Thank you, President Schuster. Congratulations 2014 graduates. Welcome to the growing KGI alumni family. I look forward to meeting every one of you at some point in our careers. Welcome, family and friends. You've been a great support to the graduates, and we all appreciate that. I know I did in my day. You've worked long and hard to get where you are today, and I applaud each and every one of you for it. You've obtained truly unique degrees representing a rare set of skills that will serve you well throughout your career. I'm only about 5 years past my MBS graduation, but I've seen some of the benefits of the degree in action, and I'm always looking for new ways to use them in my career. To that end, I'd like to share with you today one perspective on what you will take with you from your time at KGI. Now, nothing is black and white, but I have observed that there are generally two ways one can develop a career. On the one hand, you can dive deep and become the master of a particular domain. This person can be deployed on a project to cut right through a problem with the focused tools and knowledge they've accumulated. On the other hand, there is one who has developed a breadth of skills and knowledge that allow them to navigate the unknown and solve a wider set of problems. As KGI graduates, you're well positioned to make the choice as you see fit. Each has its merits, and we have the tools from a broad set of jobs from a broader set of jobs than your average person in the life science industry, allowing either path to be a viable one on your way to success. Everyone has their own path and will continue to walk it in their own way. But I've tried to identify a thread that connects us all as KGI graduates. That is, we came here having been, for the most part, trained as scientists and left with 2 years of education focused on the business of applied life sciences. As scientists, we learn through the lens of the scientific method, a largely process-driven approach consisting of hypothesis, experimental design, execution, analysis, and revision. Each cycle taking us closer to a truth that we can use to answer the next set of questions that arise. You will often find that this style of learning will come in handy. On the other hand, you now have tools to help you learn and grow in a frequently nebulous processes of a dynamic business environment. For example, you now know how the judgment calls required in budgeting and forecasting a business's performance, or that it's often necessary to make assumptions about how other stakeholders, such as customers and corporate executives, will react to your decisions. Rerunning the project is not likely the desired outcome of a new product launch, regulatory filing, manufacturing line build-out, etc. We're always learning, and regardless of whether you find yourself more often in a lab or a conference room, you now have the tools to plan, collaborate, execute, learn, and grow in your career across the breadth of what a rapidly changing industry like ours can throw at you. I will end with a little bit of advice that I have found to be useful. Given that I see KGI graduates as being in the fantastic position of remaining flexible in their career choices, either becoming a specialist or continuing to develop a broad set of skills, I suggest the following. Always look to continually increase your organizational awareness. That is, take a look at the org chart of whatever company you end up in, or that of a typical large corporation. If you see a role there that you don't understand, set up a meeting with that person, ask what they do. Proactively seek out these learning experiences. Continue to learn as you have to this point. We all love talking about what we are passionate about, and this remains true in the workplace. So these conversations will be great for both you and the other party. Ask them what their current role, where their current role may overlap with theirs, even if you don't see an immediate connection between yourself and them. You never know what you'll learn, what kind of partnership may arise from the interaction, or even whether you would like to try it out someday. The downside of digital speech writing. Page just flies away from you. So you have a great toolbox at your disposal, a fantastic one, in fact. It's now up to you to decide how to use it. But the more you learn about how others use theirs, the better you'll be able to use yours. So continue to learn, continue to make connections, and I look forward to seeing you all out there. Once more, congratulations to all, Thank you for having me here today to join in the celebration of your accomplishment, and welcome to the alumni family. I look forward to continuing alongside with you.
Thank you, Louis. It's my honor to talk to you for just a few moments as we end this ceremony. And I would like to just spend a couple minutes telling you that I think there's been a clear theme, not just in this ceremony this morning, but in what we all do here at KGI. And it was expressed, I think, extremely well by Naren, Ranita, and Senator Kerry. And that's the theme of rebirth and fulfillment and professional development and openness to change and adaptation. You've heard it, but not only have you heard it, you've lived it and you've seen it. You have the tools. It has been a wonderful experience for me to be able to watch the interactions and the activities with the faculty and our advisors and board members, to see the Team Masters projects you folks have done and participated in. They're going to actually result in new products and totally new avenues for looking at information for some large pharmaceutical companies that I guess I can't mention. The business plans that you folks did in a class are actually going to be the resource for starting several new companies. They're going to use those plans and follow through on them. The work that you folks have done to establish the PDA chapter here in Southern California is paralleled nowhere else. And it was a completely student-sponsored activity with the support of the faculty. These are all remarkable accomplishments, and you need to use those tools and use what you learned as you go forward. But I think we at KGI have really invested as well in innovation and learning and change, and that's why we have the programs that we celebrate with you today as graduates. Our professional science masters is being regarded as one of the best in the country and the model for hands-on, real-world, team-based education. It is being known everywhere, and I think through the good works of our vice president, we are in fact the center of the professional science masters world. We are building a pharmacy school, which is already being recognized before the first students walk in as being one of the innovators in national pharmacy education. Our PPC programs are generating young people to go to medical school at an incredibly high rate, but not just the rate, the things they're able to do in medical schools and bring these activities to bear as physicians and caring physicians and physicians who understand the real world are unique and special. I think the best evidence of the great success of the postdoctoral professional master's program is the fact that today most of our graduates graduated in absentia, because they're all out looking for apartments so they can start their new jobs next week. And I think that's a remarkable metric of success in how that program is working. So I think what we have all done together is be part of an institution that really expresses growth and dynamism and rebirth at every opportunity. For you, there are really two components that come from you as you go forward. And the first is passion. You have to always want to do the right thing and the best thing all the time. To paraphrase from my colleague Dennis Fenton, it has to be every patient, every time, every molecule, every device, and every test. That has to be your goal. And finally, openness to experimentation, doing something different, trying something, doing something that's unique every time you have the opportunity. And I'm reminded of a talk we had several years ago from someone who was a physician that said that most of his patients were dead. Now, of course, he didn't mean that. But what he meant was they hadn't tried anything new in years. And if you're not talking about trying things new like jumping off a building, I think that's kind of silly. But when you go to a restaurant, try something off the other column. Keep yourself challenged by doing things new all the time. You have the tools, you have the passion, you have the commitment, and you have us as a family at KGI. I want to wish you the very best because I know you will succeed. I look forward to meeting all of you as alumni out there doing wonderful things in the world. And I want all of us to take one last opportunity to congratulate the class of 2014. Do I sing or is it? Dance and sing? Oh, yeah, after all that. Oh, my goodness, you're not graduates yet. We can't leave. Please, please move your move your tassels to the other side. Now join me in congratulating the class. You're right, now we got them. Let's go.